Europa Park is one of, if not the largest theme park in Germany and is located in Rust. This park is incredibly well themed and offers rides and attractions for the whole family, boasting a whopping 13 coasters, with number 14 due to open in 2024. This park is often referred to as the Disneyland of Germany, and in some parts I can see why. The mascot is a mouse, and some of the rides are similar, such as the Flying Theatre and the Pirate Boat ride, which I'll come on to later. But what really sets this apart is the attention to detail you'll find here. Themes to different countries around Europe, you really do get a feel that you could be walking through different lands. Another great thing about this park is that nearly all rides here, with a few exceptions of course, are all from Mack rides. The Mack family decided they didn't want a brochure showcasing the rides, they wanted to show them live and in person, to also show what can be done in terms of layout and theming. So this really is a living catalogue of the work, and you can see just why that little attention to details really do make a difference. It's by far one of the most, if not the best theme park I've been to so far. Now onto the top 20 rides. I should mention first though that there are so many more rides and attractions that didn't feature on this video. This is just my personal top 20 based on my visit when I went there in May 2023. So let's dive right in. Number 20, Windjammer. This is kind of your run-of-the-mill typical kind of pirate ship, so not really too much to say on it, but if you do sit on the back seats either side, you do get a little bit of airtime, so it is quite a good family fun ride, so hence why it's made the list, but give it a try, it's good fun. Number 19, Tiroler Wildwasserbahn. This log flume style ride is fairly typical of the genre in the fact that you've got some good river parts along with some nice inclines, lift hills and some decent splash mounds. What I do like about this ride is that you do go through a mine cave which interacts also with the runaway mine train, which for me just gives it that little bit extra wow factor and makes the whole ride feel a bit more intertwined and inclusive. Number 18, Columbus Jolly. This is an indoor sea storm type ride which has a great lighting package which makes you feel that you're going faster than you actually are. One of the other good things about this ride is that you can control the direction of the boat using the steering wheel, which adds to the thrill of going forwards, backwards or even riding sideways. Number 17, Vienna Wave Swing. Themed to a twirling mushroom, riders gently swing round taking in the views of the surrounding woodland theme. There are fountains which hover below your seat to give the sense of teasing guests that you may get wet, but it doesn't actually happen. Number 16, Pegasus. This Mack family coaster, found in the Greek section of the park, offers a silky smooth ride which makes it perfect for beginners and enthusiasts alike. There are some good bank turns and drops that even offer some very slight airtime if sitting towards the rear of the ride. Number 15, Atlantica Super Splash. This is the newer of the two water coasters, but in my opinion the older one is actually better. This is very much a one-trick pony where you climb the first lift hill before a turntable forces you backwards into a slight drop. This then transfers you across to the descending hill. Again, another turntable rotates you for a decent splashdown. Oh, watch out for the naughty dolphins though, they do sometimes splash as you'll see in this clip. Number 14, Schweizer. This bobsleigh style coaster opened in 1985 and it's the park's second oldest running coaster. Sat in the Switzerland area of the park, this ride offers some great helixes and turns. Whilst it's not the smoothest of rides, I personally like the fact that you get thrown about a little bit on this one, and the fact that it's still operating where many of the other coasters are much newer. It's good to see some of the older rides still being enjoyed by guests, old and new. Number 13, Matterhorn Blitz. Located next to Schweizer Bobbin, this wild mouse style ride is again fairly typical of the genre. However, it does have a couple of elements that make it slightly different. Firstly, after departing the station there's the vertical lift, which is a different way to start this type of ride off. Once you ascend to the top of the lift, you're then taken into the outdoor section of the ride. This is where you have a good first drop, which is again something different to this style of ride. Once you've ascended the first drop, the rest of the ride is very typical of a wild mouse style coaster. For me, to add a bit more extra wow factor, it would be good if the cars rotated like the cars on Cobra's Curse, but overall it's not a bad family coaster, and that's why it's made the list. Number 12, Fjord Rafting. I really enjoyed this ride. Located in the Scandinavian section of the park, there's plenty of sections where the water really is wild in places and makes it an entertaining rafting experience. There are lots of elements included in this, like wave machines and fountains to aid riders in getting wet. After the ride though, there are lots of large dries which I believe are €2, so you can dry off. Number 11, Atlantis Adventure. I almost walked completely past this attraction, so do be careful to look out for it in the Greece section of the park. This ride is the same system as Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Blast at Disney, only this one's themed under the sea. You still have different targets to shoot at, and the different colour lights represent different points, so watch out for those high scoring targets and see who can come off the champion. Number 10, Alpen Express. Opening in 1984, this powered mine train is the oldest coaster still operating in the park. Whilst not the biggest in terms of length, it has a total track layout of 866 feet and a maximum height of 19.7 feet. Capable of speeds of 28 miles an hour, this ride weaves through the woodland area before entering a diamond mine cave where it interacts with the log flume ride. You also have the option of riding this ride with a VR headset, although we didn't do that, but it is an option you can take up. Number 9, Volaterium. Found on the main Germany entrance street when you first walk through the ticket gates, this ride is very much similar to Soarin' at Epcot. The flying movie theatre takes guests on a trip around some of the most famous landmarks across Europe, before finishing off with a firework display at Europa Park. I do like the flying little drone found in the queue line, and the whole theme of exploring really does capture your attention. Number 8, Eurosat. Also now known as the Can-Can coaster, this indoor coaster starts with an Archimedes pin spiral lift. This coaster was retracked and rethemed in 2018 and now offers a much smoother ride, as well as changing theming from a space coaster to that of the Moulin Rouge. There are no inversions on this ride, however you do pick up some seriously good speed whilst twisting and turning through the 3,024 feet of track. 7, Poseidon Water Coaster. This is the older, but in my opinion the better of the two water coasters at the park. Themed around ancient Greek ruins, this ride has much more coaster elements than that of Atlantica's Super Splash, and that's why I placed it higher in the list. It does feel a little rough in the coaster parts, but makes up for it for a real refreshing water splash. The ride features 2 lift hills and 2 splashdown areas, so you will come off this one wet. Number 6, Euromir. This max spinning coaster, located in the Russian section of the park, really will get you bopping. It has a rave-like theme track that you hear all out the queue. The ride, much like the Can-Can coaster, starts with a spiral lift before you make your way outdoors. The huge mirrored walls really do add an element of confusion, not knowing where you are in the park, before descending back down whilst the cars rotate at various points of the track. It's great fun, and I rode this one quite a few times. Number 5, Piraten in Latvia. Very much like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride found at the Disney parks, this boat ride takes you through multiple scenes telling the story of you hunting for the Golden Dagger. You even get some very similar scenes such as the jail scene, but rather than a dog trying to get you the key, you're trying to beckon a monkey over. You even sail past a restaurant with views of the ride much like the Paris version of Pirates of the Caribbean. Despite this, it's still a good story and a fantastic indoor family ride, so one you need to check out if you're visiting the park. Number 4, Arthur. I have to say I was really blown away by this powered family coaster. The theme and attention to detail, not only in the ride queue but also on the ride itself, really make you believe you've been shrunk down in size. This ride features both indoor and outdoor elements, and even features some well-known hip-hop music in one section. It very often has a longer queue than a lot of the other rides, but don't let this put you off. It is a must-do just to experience how great this ride really is. Now time for the top 3, and just like my top 10 at Phantasialand, I struggled where to place the top 3 as again they're all really brilliant rides but for different reasons. But here are my top 3 rides of Europa Park. Number 3, Silver Star. One of the few rides on park that isn't Mac. This B&M hypercoaster opened in 2002. It boasts a first drop of just under 220 foot, reaching maximum speeds of 78.9 miles per hour. Sponsored by Mercedes, the Q-Line features replica cars from the Mercedes F1 racing team, as well as its own rocking soundtrack. The ride itself offers many great airtime elements, and is best in my opinion to just throw your hands up after the first drop. It really is a thrilling but enjoyable ride, super smooth too. Number 2, Blue Fire Mega Coaster. This Mack launch coaster starts off with an insane launch which takes you into a 105 foot tall loop. However, you experience some serious hang time here which makes it feel like the coaster isn't going to make it, which to me adds to the thrill factor. The ride also features 3,464 foot of track, which incorporates twisted horseshoe rolls and inline twists, as well as that initial launch which rockets riders from 0 to 62 miles an hour. This really is a good, insane ride. I rode it 3 times on the trot. Number 1, Wooden Timber Coaster. This Great Coasters International wooden coaster is found in the Norway section of the park and is themed around Vikings and the gods. It really is an insane ride, and it opened in 2012. Wicker Man at Alton Towers was loosely based around this coaster. However, I have to say, having ridden them both, Wooden is by far superior. You get some intense speed straight after the first drop, and this really doesn't let up through the entire ride as you're thrown into turns and twists around the track. It all feels at very, very high speed. This really is such a thrilling and entertaining coaster. Just the Q-Line theming is just amazing. So that's my top 20 rides at Europa Park. How do they compare to yours? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like what we do, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out loads and it's greatly appreciated. Keep on exploring, and we'll see you next time.